What's up, gamers? It's time for the S&box news. Here we're in the S&box news studio map. This was made by McDo. It's very impressive. It's a S&box news studio. It has plants in it, real plants. Wait, that's not a real plant. That's a wood texture. Anyways, look at how immersive this is. Speaking of S&box news, did you know they updated Construct this week? It's pretty crazy. They added these metal poles here. There's no railing, and they added steps with textures. Oh, it looks like they also detailed the underside of the bridge and the stairs over there. And they also added a more detailed path area with benches on it. It's insane. Now, last week, I was trying to show off the destructible fences here, but it didn't work. It was actually updated, and it works now. Now, check this out. Wow! That's insane. Can you even imagine? This surely is the future of gaming. And my vehicle doesn't come to a complete stop when I crash into it now. That was updated. Also, these chairs are destructible. So if I go full speed into the bench, I think it'll break. Oh, I guess these are static props. I'm pretty sure they added Gibbs to the physics prop version of this. So if I run into that chair that I spawned, maybe it'll break. Wow! It broke. Well, here we can see the remains of the bench. That's insane. This is such a realistic destruction, I can't even believe it. What I can believe is this new area in Construct. There's still the issue with the trees where they tank your frame rate. I'm getting very low frame rates in the forest area, but when I leave the forest area, my frame rate is pretty good. What else is now laggy is VR mode. They added VR to S&box. Last week, they started to add some basic VR functions to S&box. So here I am in VR mode. I'm in the office map that Backstretch is working on. And we can see I added a few new features. Last week, all that we had was the basic head controller, but now they added the ability to track your hands and to press buttons on your controllers. So I can shoot my gun. It fires very quickly right now. I can also jump. And I added basic locomotion so I can walk, and I can turn using smooth turn. I haven't added snap turn yet. I also have head tracking, which you can't see in first person mode. And there's crouching. Now, there is one thing that I haven't programmed in yet, and that's having your body actually follow you around. So I'll add that eventually. For now, you have to stand where your body is. So I don't think there's really going to be a default VR support for S&box. How I think it's going to work is Gary Newman is going to make a basic test game mode with finger tracking, which was actually added today, but I haven't managed to add that to the model yet. Last week we saw a finger tracking test that Gary was doing. I assume there's going to be VR settings in the settings menu, but they haven't been added yet. It will most likely be up to the individual game modes to go in and program VR however they want. I have some experience with the VR, so I have a pretty good idea on how to program everything. So I had to program all of this VR stuff myself. There's not an official game mode for it yet. I think Gary Newman is going to be working on a VR test game mode soon, similar to AI Lab and the other test game modes like S&box. But until then, we have S&box VR. That's insane. It's like I was actually in the game. What else is like I'm actually in the game is this new hair model. It looks very realistic. So the S&box Twitter account shared this today. I'm pretty sure the model is in the game. I just haven't looked for it yet. Well, to everybody that said they wanted realistic player models, here we have it. Realistic hair, a realistic suit and tie. You can look at the textures. These textures are very high resolution. It's realistic. What else is realistic is drones. The RTS game mode was updated, and they added drones to it. Here is a video that the developer showed off. I'm not going to load up RTS mode in game, but what I will load up in game is this map. You might notice it's different. It's because it is a different map. It's called Greenlands. It's a new work in progress map that FaceBunch is working on for the RTS game mode. It's using tile sets, similar to what Dota 2 uses for its levels. Now, the tile set isn't detailed yet, as you can see. It's just different colors with a grid. But in the future, this will probably be a fully detailed tile set, and you'll be able to quickly make maps using it. It's cool seeing this map because it has height variations. It has completely flat areas, and then it has steep ramps going up to higher elevations. So I don't know if they're actually going to have smooth terrain, or if it's always going to be completely flat in the RTSK mode. I guess we'll find out in the future. But this map, it looks pretty good right now, even with these very basic placeholder materials. There's even water that isn't real water, but it's transparent. So from an RTS perspective, it might as well be real water. That's insane. I like to drink water sometimes in real life. Another thing I do in real life is edit videos. I have a lot of videos recorded that I have to edit. So next week I'm going to edit a bunch of them. You can probably expect at least 2 new videos next week, not including the S&box news. So you should be very excited. One of them is likely going to be part 2 of the build battle that I did with Sadly It's Bradley. I'm not going to spoil any details, but it was pretty crazy. The buildings we made were so realistic, it'll send a shiver down your spine. It's not a horror map. Another video is going to be a S&box VR video. I'm going to do a very in-depth dive on all the VR support that was added to S&box. It'll blow you away. I'm also going to be making part 2 to my zombie game mode video, so if you haven't seen part 1, you should watch it right now. If you have seen part 1, then you should watch this other video that I put out yesterday. It's about a Team Fortress 2 game mode that people are making in S&box. It's insane. What else is insane is leaving a like and clicking subscribe.